Volsung the Vikings' journey to the unknown land. In the mid-9th century, Volsung packed up his ship and headed for the Faroe Islands, when he was blown off course and ended up in an uninhabited land. After many trips to this unknown land, Volsung climbed a mountain and saw a large chunk of ice. This is when the land became known as Iceland. In the 19th century, generations after Volsung's discovery of the unknown land, Norsemen began settling Iceland. They started as hunter-gatherers mainly for fish, and later brought sheep, cattle, horses, and goats that fed off the pastures and grain planted by the Norsemen. In this time, 70 to 80% of the population were farmers. In 1944, Iceland gained independence from Denmark. 98% of the population voted on independence from the Danish Icelandic Union. They abolished the monarchy and became a republic. Iceland has an area of about 103,000 square kilometers, and interestingly enough grows about 5 centimeters a year. This is because of Iceland's position on the mid-Atlantic ridge, making it very volcanically active. The population was 338,349 in 2017, and Iceland actually has a mild climate with an average winter temperature of around 50 degrees Fahrenheit and an average summer temperature of about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. These temperatures allow for, by Florida standard, cool season crops to flourish. As you can see, I am not an artist, but this is my map of agricultural productions in Iceland. In the green are the volcanic lowlands where hay and hardy vegetables are grown. In the orange is pastureland where sheep, cattle, and goats graze. The slashed blue is where the glaciers and permanent snow is located. These are what Volsung discovered and led to the name Iceland. Finally, the black fish-like symbols are where fishing ports are located along Iceland's coast. When Volsung came with his friends originally, they began deforestation to clear land for agriculture. This continued to increase and has caused huge erosion issues since. Climate change is pushing Iceland to rely more and more on self-sustainability. This can be achieved by utilizing more geothermal energy to produce more crops, using local fertilizers, and producing plants that will succeed in cool climates. Being more self-sufficient means less imports, which results in fewer heavy emissions. More obviously, Iceland's position near the Arctic Circle restricts the number and diversity of crops that can be grown. There are two main acts that make up the agricultural policy in Iceland: Act Number 99 of 1993 and Act Number 70 of 1998, which is also known as the Act on Agriculture. These policies focus on production, pricing, and sale of products. They also lay out provisions on slaughter, processing, and market measures. Iceland has a high support through subsidies and import taxes set by the World Trade Organization. These direct payment subsidies are comparable to the ones set by the CAP in Iceland's close neighbor, the European Union. The import tariff is 32% for meat and dairy products that come into Iceland, which is based on World Trade Organization agreements. This high tax is because Iceland is already self-sufficient in these markets. Live animal import is also illegal in Iceland due to their isolation. Introducing animals from outside could cause rapid disease spread and cripple their flourishing meat and dairy markets. Sheep export doubled between 2006 and 2009, which was largely supported by these direct payments. Today, less than 5% of the population farms. The sheep industry is still just as strong as it was when Volsung's descendants settled here. Iceland is self-sufficient in meat, dairy, and egg production. Unlike the settlers, farmers today are able to grow potatoes, turnips, carrots, cabbage, kale, and cauliflower. In addition to these cold-loving crops, tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, and even bananas can be grown in greenhouses that are heated by the geothermal energy. Most of these crops are grown in the fertile volcanic lowlands. If Volsung could see what his discovery of an icy rock has led to, I'd say he'd be pretty proud. Thank you for listening.